night, parents came out to make themselves heard in St. Johns County. So if you live there, you know the top-rated school district is growing at a fast pace, and that growth is leading to some overcrowding. First Coast News' Jeff Vallon is live tonight in St. Johns County with more. And Jeff, I know a lot of parents and a lot of students had a lot to say tonight.
Yeah, Heather and Anthony, absolutely. School board members talked more about maps and numbers. Parents and kids talked more about the impact of having to move again and again, as well as longer school commutes in some cases. But with no end to the growth in sight, well, it looks like something has to give. Everyone agreed it shouldn't have to be the kids.
Please, don't rezone me. I love my school.
It's obvious St. Johns County is growing by leaps and bounds, but some say that's stunting social and personal growth for grade school students, some of whom, like this young man, have already been displaced 2 or even more times before by school rezoning.
It's frustrating, have to start over with the new school environment, new teachers, and having to make new friends again.
With 2 new schools set to open next fall and overcrowding at many existing schools, the board heard impassioned pleas from parents and kids at Monday night's town meeting. Many from Durbin Creek, their futures hinging between 2 zoning plans at one of the new schools, currently called LL, in the northwest part of the county. The kids say they'd rather be a little crowded if it means keeping familiar friendships and school routes.
Some kids don't want to be your friends, so it'd be harder to find friends if I move schools again.
It's very hard when you're put into a new situation, a new environment, and you try and make friends.
Parents say the alternative carries too great a cost, not just to individuals, but the community and even society.
I work in the criminal justice system, and I can tell you when there is not stability and things change, a lot of times kids run into problems.
We're talking about drug use, which seems to be a resurgent issue in some of these areas. You're talking about suicide, depression, burnout, low self-esteem issues, life satisfaction. We don't want that on anybody's child.
And ultimately that if someone doesn't put a lid on all the growth, St. Johns County will become a victim of its own popularity.
We need to hold the builders accountable in St. Johns County. They're building the homes, they're bringing the people, but we're not able to sustain the growth.
Hard to balance so many competing interests.
We just have to be careful from a safety standpoint and from just the logistics, being able to serve children lunch, to be able to provide the other resources that are a part of a school.
Now, to look at detailed potential maps and plans, you can find a link via this story at firstcoastnews.com. Tonight was the last town meeting scheduled, but you can use that same link to weigh into the school board with your opinion. They say do it sooner than later because the board plans to make a decision no later than mid-November. Live in St. Johns County, Jeff Vallon, First Coast News, on your side.